2. Because the first one, when I pulled up the document, there was no audio. Thank you, Emux, for not doing much and let me know. Thank you. Okay, so this one is gonna. Here's the thing. I told people start supporting independent films, low budget films, documentaries, horror movies, dramas. I told you not to rely on the production companies and the big corporations. Don't do it. But no, you don't want to watch. You don't want to watch the little independent films. No, you want to clamor about how the audio is not perfect, or how the acting is not perfect, or maybe somebody miscast somebody. Maybe somebody made a mistake and you see like a little shadow in the background. No, you want to nitpick the films that are going to be the future. Disney's not going to be around very long. They own Marvel. Marvel is picking up their blocks and going the fuck home. And I'm showing, and here we go. Oh, what's this? Marvel leaves Georgia to film superhero movies in the UK. 2 years ago, they came out with reports saying, well, Georgia, they supported getting rid of Roe v. Wade, so we need to punish them. We need to punish them so that the movies come back to California, and everybody in California will be happy because we're inclusive. You realize that was Film LA that was putting out propaganda, right? Yes, that was, because they did it before. Every time that there is film companies or production studios that leave California, you got Film LA, which is the government and the city of LA, that are propagandizing people, saying, "Oh, California, we'll kiss everybody's ass and we'll open the door for them and everything else." I mean, when are people going to stop like being in their own little fucking world, thinking that they know what the fuck is going on? When all you have to do is listen to somebody who's not an expert, but has a shitload of lived experience and have seen it with my own 2 eyes. When are you going to say, you know what, Derek was right on that one? When is this ever going to happen? I never hear that ever. I in the comments I hear about I'm fat, I can't read, I can't spell. But when are you going to say, Derek, you know what? You were actually right. You're all right on this one. You're good to go, and you were correct. Let's check it out. Marvel Studios have shifted most of their production out of Georgia in favor of the UK. Their last movie was last summer. They were doing reshoots for Captain America, which to get this. They didn't like the big evil that was in Captain America's original cut, so they did a shit ton of reshoots in Georgia last summer to make a shitty movie more shitty. They wasted a shit ton of money, but we're supposed and people's livelihoods are on the brink for this shit. But we're supposed to listen to them, and we're supposed to watch shitty movies, right? It blows me away. A movie that gutted the Peach State's film industry, wiping out nearly half of its spending and leaving once bustling sound stages largely empty. I saw this shit coming from a mile away. It was 2 summers ago. There's a place in Covington. It's a studio. I don't know who owns it. It might be partially owned by Marvel, but I know Equalizer, the last Equalizer movie was shot there. Denzel was in town. And Captain America last summer they shot a bunch of remakes or reshoots in last summer. I do like film security on the side just for a little extra money. I haven't heard anything from them. I haven't heard anything from them since last winter. Because they ain't got shit going on. They got nothing. This irritates me because you're taking food off the table from people because of bad decisions by people on the higher end of things. And no, it's not because of Trump and tariffs. It's because they want to save money and make more shitty movies that people aren't going to watch. When was the last Marvel movie that actually made some fucking money. It's been a while. And of course, they're showing Spider-Man because Spider-Man actually made money. All the other ones, Avengers Endgame made money. Spider-Man has made money. While major studios including Disney, Netflix, and Warner Brothers Discovery threatened boycotts in 2019 abortion laws, with some similar productions leaving with protest. Marvel's current exodus in the UK is driven purely by economics. And Film LA basically saying, oh, come to LA. Oh, we're stunning and brave. Come back. Meanwhile, you're paying 5 times the amount of fucking money to produce the same thing. Raising the labor costs in Georgia tipped the scales, and the UK crews are paid less and studios aren't saddling the health insurance expenses, making it cheaper to shoot overseas. A person familiar with the matter told the Wall Street Journal, I hate when they do that shit. A person that's familiar, name them. Say, yeah, Joe Schmo over here said, yeah, that's why. So basically, you don't have a source, and you're just making it look like you have a source. A person familiar with the matter. I got a bum on the side of the street who they paid $5 to clean the streets during the Marvel movie, so he knows. The results are devastating. Georgia's film television spending has plummeted nearly 50% in the 3 years, which is 245 projects filmed in the fiscal year ending June 2025, down to 412 in 2022. You feel like a jilted lover. Janie Goslin, 62, a script supervisor who was once made $200,000 on a year working Marvel sets, told the Journal. She hadn't had steady work since February 2024 and has borrowed from her retirement fund to cover bills because she listens to people. She listens to the union. She listens to her union saying, okay, yeah, we've got stuff going and we've got some cracking, this, that, and the other thing. The downturn of the film work so demoralizing. You turn to the state's famous jingle into a joke, which it's called Hollywood of the South, basically. Trilla Studios, Marvel's longtime 1,000-acre production hub with 34 stages and its own housing village, has gone quietly for years of nonstop demand. Yeah, like it's literally in the middle of nowhere. I've been there a few times. Sadly, remembering Captain America New Brave World shoot, when rumors spread it might be Marvel's Georgia Swan song. Yeah, because they fucked up and they listened to people and we got to change the bad guy because we might offend somebody. So they literally did like months and months of reshoots to change the movie. And like I said, did they make any more money because of those changes? No, they didn't. They didn't make any more money spending a shitload of money on changes that weren't necessary. It was still going to be a shitty movie. For local crews, Marvel wasn't just another client, it was a cornerstone. The studio's high-budget blockbuster employed hundreds at a time and kept workers busy year long. It's not just the workers on set. It's the catering companies. It's the companies that rent garbage cans. It's the companies that rent generators, like the big generators that they haul in. It's all the infrastructure. The same shit happened in LA when I was there. That's why I got out, because at the time I got out in 2018, 2017. Some of the production companies were leaving LA and going back to New York because it was so damn high. Viacom literally picked all their shit up and went back to New York. So it's like I was working for MTV, VH1, BET. I worked for a bunch of the Viacom stuff. And when they jump ship, time for me to jump ship because that was half of the work I was getting was Viacom. Marvel allowed me to do so much with my life and really set a trajectory in my career, said Grip John Grubb, 44, who worked 6 Marvel movies. He even calls his $350,000 home a house of Avengers bought. The collapse comes with a mediocre rise that became 2008 when Georgia expanded its tax incentive to 30%, and then they eventually went to 40%. And that's crazy, where they still have the 40% tax breaks, and they still are going to make, they're still going to go overseas and shoot for less. Guys, like, I understand that there's union guys out there. Union guys and girls out there. I understand, but they ain't the most effective, and they ain't the most cost effective when it comes to getting anything done. They're hurting more than they're actually helping, honestly. They had more of an impact 50 years ago when people were literally getting shit on. That's when the unions were good. Nowadays, it's causing more harm than it's actually doing anything. But yeah, so they're picking up their ball and going home, or going somewhere else to shoot some shitty movies for much cheaper. Because there was a podcast. I'm trying to think who it was. I can't remember off the top of my head, where he was talking about that it was easier for him to take his film and go overseas, bring his crew with him, and then shoot for 6 months, come back, than it was to literally go to a studio 5 miles down from his house. It was still cheaper doing it that way. And then this was, let's see here. And then I'm going to pull this one up, which is kind of a similar type of article, but it was literally months, like a year ago. Okay, so Georgia's mountain status as a top production hub in the face of the industry slows down. This was May 16th, 2025. A movie shooting location is often compared to the circus because both of self-contained opportunities of performers and laborers that visit a short time, rile up locals, and then pull out, leaving stardust and elephants stirring in their wake. I wouldn't say it's that. Nobody knows it better than Robert Halme, who came to Georgia as a 23-year-old producer 45 years ago to make TV movies titled When the Circus Came to Town, that was actually filmed under a big top in a tent. And a lot of elephants dumping. Yeah, there's a lot of elephants dumping. But it's funny is when you literally just you watch mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake, and it seems like people just don't fucking learn. They don't learn at all. Shadowbox, Three Ring Studios, Tyler Perry Studios represent 4.4 million square foot soundstage. I've been to Shadowbox. I've been to Three Ring. I've never been to Tyler Perry Studio. But yeah, it's one of those things where, like, I was saying earlier about there's a film studio in Covington about 25 minutes from me that they went up quick. They were up in like a year and a half. And it was right in the middle of the boom. Everything was rolling. Everything like shot up. And it's like you can see that these people are jumping into something because they got a shitload of money. And as soon as the bottom drops, what is that studio going to do? Sit there. They're going to do some local commercials, or they're going to rent it out for weddings or some shit. Watch. The state even boasts about a university with a pro-level production game, the Savannah College of Arts. If people listen to that shit, yeah, okay. I don't know how many times I was on set with somebody that went to film school, and I'm running circles around them. Because you can have the degree, you can have all that stuff, but if you don't have, if you don't have the passion for it, and if you're not all in as far as like putting your heart out there and trying to do a good job on set, it doesn't matter what film school that you went to. Because I'd go circles around them because I feel like I'm called to be in the industry. I'm called to write stories. I'm called to be part of it. A lot of people aren't. They want to just hook on and say, "Oh, I'm going to make a ton of money." It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work that a lot of people don't realize. Like, it's a lot of work behind the scenes that most people have no idea what all they see is the final product, and that's it. It's like, oh, I remember that day I was standing there for 14 hours in the desert, dehydrated, carrying water uphill or whatever it was. And it's like, a lot of people people take a lot of stuff for granted. When students are working with pros on a professional set, the learning curve potential is better. Points out Moffat, a veteran actor whose credit included co-stars roles of Happily Divorced and Friday Night Lights. I don't know about that. I don't necessarily agree with that. Because most people, there's when you're on set, a lot of people don't have the time. So, like, the students are really going to have to hunt down the person that they want to learn from. And then, like, you're just getting in the way if you don't have an idea of how the set works. So it's like, I don't necessarily agree with that because most times they're in the way. The wealth of permanent facilities means the projects visiting the Peach State today are less likely to find themselves shooting in converted warehouses. Shit, stay in the converted warehouses. That way you're not spending a ton of money on infrastructure when you have no intention to fucking do anything. So many of the production hubs spawned by government incentives or, heaven forbids, a tent. There's also less likely to be staffed by out-of-towners. I remember I didn't get into it with somebody, but there was a few productions that I worked on, and they wanting to shoot out of town for a week or two or whatever it was, and they're like, "Oh, we're just gonna hire locals," and it's like, why are you hiring locals? Number one, they haven't been on the set. They don't know what the actors or the talent wants. They don't know how, the producers and directors like their production tent, because everybody's different. Everybody's got specific needs or whatever wants that they want. And it's like every time they would come back and be like, "Oh, damn locals." And it's like, bro, you could have fucking brought me and not hired the locals because they were trying to save money. And it wasn't that person. It wasn't the production manager. It was their boss up on the top that was like, "Well, if we send this $200, when you ended up spending the $200 because this local guy fucked up. Or you got some guy that claims he's been on set and he hasn't. I remember one time I was on set, and this was it wasn't in LA, it was in the outskirts, and it was for where was it? The Dudesons. There was a show that was, because Jackass was really popular, and there was all these little Jackass little shows on the sides, and I worked on one called the Dudesons, which is these guys from let me see if I can pull it up. So these guys were called the Dudesons. Let me look it up real quick. Dude Sons. Stop sharing. Stop sharing the news. Okay, so you got the Dudesons. I worked on this show for a while. I worked on it. I don't know if they did a second season or not, but I worked on the first season. I knew a couple of people. I never got to work on Jackass, but I knew a couple of people that did. And then they were like, "Hey, we've got this other show. You want to do it?" It's called the Dudesons. It's kind of like they're basically redoing movie set stunts, and super fun guys, super cool guys. I remember I went to set one time, And one of the guys, I can't remember who it was. I think it was one of the shorter guy with the bullseye on his stomach. The dude right here. Pretty sure it was him. He it was kind of toward the end of the day, and he's like, mate, did you get any t-shirts or anything? And I'm like, t-shirts? What are you talking about? He's like, oh, I got t-shirts. I walked over to his car, and he opened up the trunk, and he had boxes of Dudeson t-shirts, and he was handing me like a couple of Dudeson t-shirts. I was rocking some Dudeson gear for a while, and it was hilarious, pretty funny. And anyway, so we go to this racetrack. It was a dirt track in the middle of nowhere. It was crazy. So, so we're at this dirt track, and they're blowing up these huge balloons so that the Dudesons were doing like this obstacle course, and they'd have to do certain things, and they'd hop in the car, and they'd be driving around this obstacle course, and they were putting these big balloons in their way so that they run the shit over and all that stuff. And one of the there was production vehicles that were kind of off to the side, and we were having a lot of wind gusts. So there was a lot of wind gusts, and there was just dust and freaking debris just flying everywhere. And this new guy or PA, or I don't know who he was, he pulled one of the tents out, and it's a 10 by 10 blue tent with I don't know, it's just a big production tent. It's like a blue tent with white legs on it. And he didn't put sandbags on it. This thing rocketed up in the air at least 20 feet. I'm standing like over near I was standing over near the production manager just BSing because we were all like trying to stay out of the shot. Because it's like we're all grouped in so that we're not in the production. You know what I mean? It's not the production crew's show. It's the Dudeson show. So we're all kind of like in a little group. And this thing shot up in the air. I just looked over just with a big smile on my face, and I'm like, rookies. I couldn't believe it. It just shot up like a rocket. I was just like, this is awesome. But yeah, that was a super fun show to work on. Oh wow, they did 6 seasons? Oh, they didn't do 6 seasons in the United States though. The first episode date July 6, 2006. So yeah, they did a lot of stuff overseas and then came to the US. When they came to the US is when I worked with them. The Dudesons. Pretty funny. Oh, so okay, yeah. So 4 seasons, and then one of the seasons was in the U.S. or something. 1 or 2 seasons, but it's one of those things where it's like that. You know, me telling the story about the tent flying up in the air. That's the type of thing that would happen when you would hire a local person who. Okay, most of the local people lie to get on set. They say they have experience, they don't. And then when you work with them, all of a sudden it's like what happened on that? I don't know, man. It was crazy. Because they lied. They lied to get on set. Don't ever lie in your resume, ever. Especially if you're an actor. Don't ever lie if you're an actor, don't lie in your resume. Because if I'm hiring you to ride a horse, you better ride a horse. If you don't know how to drive a stick shift, and you tell me you do, and then all of a sudden we're on set, and you're just like, what am I supposed to do? Like, it's crazy. Don't lie on your resume. Don't ever do that. There's a surefire way to getting on the blacklist, and people aren't going to trust you. They are not going to trust your ass. But yeah, this Marvel thing was it was definitely something it was coming. It was definitely coming. And you know, God bless the girl that was the script supervisor, but if she didn't make other plans and only put all of her eggs in one basket, then I'm not going to say sorry about your damn luck, but I'm going to say sorry about your damn luck. Because if you put all your eggs in basket of a production company like Marvel, because they're only looking out for their own best interest. They don't give a shit. They don't give a shit at all. So, God bless everybody that's in a hard time right now. That's why I got a regular job and started focusing on my own stuff. Because I worked in production and I freelanced for years. I freelanced in LA. I learned from the best, baby. So it's like, that's why I went out to LA, because I wanted to learn from people that are better than me. And for her to come in and have some awesome success, she bought a house, that's great. But if she didn't have long-term plans, then that's on her. Sorry. I don't really feel sorry for somebody that doesn't have a plan B, a plan C, a plan E, a plan, like all the plans. I remember I was working on a film. I can't remember what. It was an indie film, and I was a production manager for it. Or no, I was a coordinator for it. And then, yeah, I was the production coordinator for it, and then there was somebody who was the production manager. But the production manager was mostly in the office. She would venture out a little bit, but a lot of times she looked to me to take care of everything on set, or if somebody needed something or whatever. And I had a PA come up to me, and I wonder if he's a pretty sharp guy. I can't remember his name was. He's a pretty sharp guy. Hopefully he found his way. He's like, "Why aren't you on set a lot?" And I'm like, "Well," I said, you got to understand that, as a coordinator, even as a production manager too, is like you guys are on step A. I'm on step like E, because it's like I have to stay ahead of you guys." And he's like, "Well, I never thought about that." I'm like, "Yeah." It's like, I'm not working on today's stuff. I'm working on tomorrow's stuff, or the following day stuff, or if the guys are asking for a special kind of lens for their camera, like I have to make that happen before that day, because we never want to go to the day and then all of a sudden we're delayed, because that's the worst. It's like the guys asked for it 2 days ago and all of a sudden you don't have the lens. What are you doing, man? So it's like, it's a lot of that type of stuff where you have to stay ahead of the game. Gotta stay ahead of the curve. And he's like, "Well, I never thought about that, where you had to be on 4 or 5 steps ahead of us." So that's the name of the game, is having a plan A, plan B, plan C. So it's like, yeah, I feel sorry for her, but if she put all her eggs in one basket, I don't feel that sorry for her, honestly. I love doing it, but I also have to have multiple plans, like, okay, if this happens, then I gotta move a different way over here. If this happens, I gotta move a different way over here. I mean, it's just, that's life. Nothing's ever guaranteed. I'd love for it to be guaranteed. It'd be great. It's not. It is not guaranteed. So thank you so much. I know the first one was screwed up because when I pulled up one of the pages, the audio wasn't there, so I had to do a take 2. In the film industry, we got to do a take 2. So thank you everybody for watching. I appreciate it, and I see the subscribers going up, and I thank you so much, guys. I looked at it yesterday and it was 222, and I looked at it today and it was 226. So you guys are out there subscribing and liking and commenting. I see on my phone, like every day, like there's more and more conversation in my chats and stuff. Like I'll have conversations with anybody. Like the trolls that come in the chat, I'm literally just getting rid of, and I'm not dealing with them. But I love the interaction that you guys do in the chats, and this is what it's about. It's about talking about movies, and like if I have an opinion, if you guys want to push back on my opinion, that's great. I don't take it personal. I take it personal when we start making personal attacks on me and shots at me. That's when it's a little bit like, okay, in you go. But thank you everybody for watching and subscribing. It's hard to believe that this channel has, since I've taken it serious the last 2 months, it's gained about 70 subscribers, and it's awesome. It's going to be, hopefully, I don't want to say the end of the year, but hopefully, we can get to 500, and then let's go, baby. Let's go. So, either Friday or Saturday, I got to talk to my co-host as far as what day we're doing it, but we're doing, we got some, we're going to EFAP, this boxing stuff that I'd seen. And it's pretty funny. So we're going to EFAP that either Friday or Saturday. And then we're going to have some other videos like conflict videos and fighting videos during that stream. because I always like to try to have common things with the stream. So it's like if we're talking about boxing, then we've got other videos that are of conflict or boxing or whatever it is. So that's going to be kind of a crazy stream. And then Sunday on Morning Grits, we're going to do Casey Kasem. So Casey Kasem is a legendary, radio guy. So America's Top 20, and he was Shaggy. He did the voice of Shaggy and Scooby-Doo. So we're going to talk about Casey Kasem, and then we changed the format a little bit on the front part of the show to do a little bit more of a current events type thing, where we're talking about new and interesting things, just so we can clip a little bit more and get some more engagement with people in the show. So thank you everybody for watching. I appreciate you guys so much, and we will see you either Friday or Saturday, but I'll be posting the crap out of it, trying to get people to watch and everything. So it'll be Friday or Saturday night. All right, bye.